Couple of minutes with Dave Enright, with Steve Ray, with Paul from Buffalo, New York, with me, Nick Francesco, and with you. Paul, stay on the line. Now that we've got you, we don't want to lose you. But we'll be back in just a couple of minutes with a whole lot more of the longest-running computer show in the known universe. That's Soundbites right here in the Truly Great, and truly grateful to you because it is your generous support that keeps us member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at soundbites.org. More with Nick Francesco, Dave Enright, and Steve Ray next on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Upcycle old pallets into fences, compost bins, planters, and even sheds. Hi, I'm Melinda Myers, horticulturist and gardening expert. You've probably seen pallet planters. Old pallets are lined with landscape fabric to hold the soil in place. Slits are cut into the fabric and plants inserted. Use planted or unplanted pallets as dividers and fences. Dress them up a bit with paint or fill the empty space with interesting stones and moss. Create the framework and dividers for your compost pile with old pallets. Wire the corners together and it's ready to go. Or create a shed if your pile of pallets continues to grow. Check out the various websites that offer design options and construction guidelines. Many people are worried about the environmental impact of using pallets. Look for HT on the pallet and initials of the country of origin. This denotes the pallets were heat treated. Check out our website for this and other gardening tips.
Your smartphone just got a bit smarter. Text your computer questions now on our new text line. Text 205-8887. That's 205-8887.
Jazz 90.1 is supported in part by Summit Responsible Solutions, a manufacturer of organic, all-natural mosquito control products under the Mosquito Dunks brand name. Mosquito Dunks can be used in ponds, bird baths, rain barrels, or wherever water collects. Non-toxic to people, pets, fish, birds, and other wildlife, Mosquito Dunks are available at local and national garden centers everywhere. Information on how to control mosquitoes can be found at summitresponsiblesolutions.com. Jazz 90.1 is supported in part by Wild Valley Farms, which make organic, all-natural, sustainable wool pellets for the moisture-holding ability of soil. Wool pellets are made from 100% raw wool and can be added to the soil of indoor and outdoor plants for water retention. Wild Valley Farms wool pellets are available online at wildvalleyfarms.com. More information on the benefits and how to use wool pellets can be found at wildvalleyfarms.com.
Love that swing? Dig big bands? Here's what you can hear now on Jazz 90.1 Swing and Blues Radio. Available online anytime. Soundbites continues next on member-supported Jazz 90.1. Jazz 90.1 weather.
A very cool start to the unofficial beginning of the summer season across Rochester, Western New York, and the Finger Lakes. We will find clouds and even a leftover shower early today. That will be followed by at least a break or two in the overcast during the course of the afternoon. The breeze will be raw and cool coming in from the northeast, high in the upper 50s. Mostly cloudy for tonight, the low in the upper 40s. Clouds and a shower early tomorrow will be followed by some partial sunshine. The high temperature in the low 60s. I'm meteorologist Josh Nichols for Jazz 90.1.
And currently right now we've got partly cloudy skies, 52 degrees out the airport, and 56 here at member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Hi, this is Rankin Shaver of member-supported Jazz 90.1 for Smooth Grooves Wednesday evenings from 10 p.m. until 1 a.m. on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Nick Francesco.
I'm Dave Enright.
And I'm Steve Wright.
And at 32 minutes after the hour, we are Soundbites, and we have Paul from Buffalo, New York on the line. Paul, Daegu for 100 years worth of backup for $129. That's how much backups do you get?
15 terabytes.
15 terabytes.
That's a little data.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I don't know much about Daegu.
Virtually unlimited.
Yeah, it's essentially unlimited. $129 for 10 years. Now, what does it come to after that, of course?
100 years.
100 years.
100 years, I mean, 100 years.
It's a lifetime, according to them, a lifetime subscription.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Either your life or theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how beatable that is. That's if it's actually 15 terabytes for 100 years for $129.
How are the reviews on it?
Yeah.
I don't have that right at hand. I was going to do that next.
Yeah, I would
but
definitely
I
check
thought I
it
might-
out because there's so many scammers out there too, promising you this and this, and then they take their money and then they're gone.
Right. Well, it's coming from PC Magazine.
Okay.
And that's where I received the.
Okay.
ad
All
from.
right.
Okay, it does not seem to have a desktop application. So it looks like you have to do the backup yourself by hand.
They have mobile apps.
Yeah, but that doesn't help your desktop.
Yeah.
What's the one you're using, Nick?
I'll get to that in a minute. That's PCloud.
Yeah.
So, yeah, here's the thing. I use one called PCloud, which is $175 for 500 gig lifetime, one-time fee of $175. What I like about PCloud is that it has desktop apps. So I have it on my machine. I have it on my wife's machine. I have it on my daughter's machine. So it's a Windows machine, a Linux machine, and a Mac. And everything they do is automatically backed up to the cloud. They don't have to think about it. They don't have to worry about it. They don't have to do it by hand. And that's, generally speaking, in every backup option, having to do it by hand is where it breaks down because we're all human. And we forget. I have a second place that I back stuff up to, and I've automated that as well. But back when I was doing it by hand, I would often simply forget to do it. And I was a systems administrator.
Yeah,
for
skip a
Pete's
week.
sake.
Yeah, you get busy as life goes on and things.
Right. But once it's automated, that's different. So be very careful if it is not automatable.
I understand.
Looks like they're based in Sweden
Yeah, I don't know.
and
But
uses Google as their backend.
yeah. Oh, well, that's all right then. But if
I found an article on Google Cloud, case studies. Here's one of our customers.
Oh, nice.
Daegu has 9 million devices.
Wow.
And they're using our great Google Cloud storage.
Oh, there you go.
It's a lot cheaper than Google Cloud.
Yeah, it is. So at any rate, that's the point. If you are looking for something automated, I would humbly suggest PCloud. And you can read about that at asknick.com/backup.php.
Got it.
And that will give you an idea of a number of different backup things, including a link to PCloud. If you get their lifetime subscription, you can get 5 terabytes or 500 gigabytes or 2 terabytes of storage. They offer a lifetime subscription. If you use my link, I get a couple of pennies. So far, I haven't. It hasn't really significantly increased my retirement in any way, but I do want to put that out there so that you're not scammed into sending me a nickel.
Does PCloud do phones also?
I have not used it for that.
But usually phones, you can just go to Google. And
Well, it's nice to have all your it's nice to have all your stuff in one place, but you kind of want to have multiple backups too, in case that one place goes away.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks very much. You've been very helpful.
Yeah, thanks. Our pleasure. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay. Have a great day.
You too. I don't know if they do phones. I've not used them for phones.
They have an iOS device app, so I would assume they'd have an Android one too.
Maybe I actually have it on my phone and just simply forgot about it. That's always a possibility with me. Here we go. I'm looking now. PCloud with a P. LMNOP. P.
Find their website and where the download link is.
Well, I don't have it on my device. If it is, I don't know. We talked about the Jitsi meeting, so I don't have to do that.
Oh, they even have an M1 native version for the new Macs.
There you go.
It's assuming I have a Mac. Let me scroll down to see the rest of the apps.
Yeah. All right. While he does that, let us go back to the phones. Our next caller is Will from Hampton, Virginia. Hi, Will. What's up?
Hey, Nick. How's it up there in sunny Greece, Rochester area?
Oh, it's a beautiful spring day here in Rochester, New York. It's about approximately 50 degrees and cloudy.
Oh,
Well,
really?
yeah, because we're back to fall. We already had our summer.
Yeah, we had summer. We had a couple of days of summer. How are things? Do I want to know how it is in Hampton?
It's actually, believe it or not, about the same. Only a touch warmer, overcast, and maybe about 60-ish, I guess.
Okay, I won't hate you too much then. So what's up, Will?
Well, this kind of dovetails on the conversation about virtualized environments.
Yeah.
And it is actually a PSA that I'm putting out. Like anybody else, I love free stuff, and normally I'm standing at the head of the line when it comes to free stuff. And I've just come across something that may be of interest to people who are considering CCNA as a certification.
Yeah.
There's a YouTube channel called Network Advisor, and the gentleman has a 4-minute video in which he discusses Cisco Packet Tracer. He said, I'll just give you a brief synopsis. The Cisco Packet Tracer is a free virtualized lab environment. You can create limitless combinations of network topologies without the need to spend huge amounts of money on hardware, not to mention the space you need to house it all.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. So you can simulate the network without having to buy the network.
Exactly.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of that product again?
Well, the name of the YouTube channel is, well, the name of the product is Cisco Packet Tracer.
Good. So anybody who needs to that sort of stuff can get the package tracer, the Cisco package tracer, and be on your way. Excellent. And the YouTube channel is Network Advisor.
That's correct. Yes.
Got it. Will, that's excellent information. Thank you.
Of course. Just thought I'd kick it out there I know that you have a lot of listeners out there from a wide variety of backgrounds, some of them considering going into IT, and so I just thought I'd kick that out there.
Perfect. Thanks, Will.
Have a blessed day.
You too. Keep smiling, too. And yeah, we do have people across the range. So we're delighted when somebody calls them something like that. It does appear that PCloud has an Android app as well.
And Linux and browser extensions. So they've covered all the platforms.
They've covered it all. And I will be downloading that, well, now. So that I can I can install it on my phone. Here we go. Oh, no. It's trying to install it right on my Chromebook, which would work. I could do that, but I don't. I don't need it there. So I'll install it when I get home. I don't need that anymore, so it's gone now. So yeah, definitely take a look. You should be using something to do backups. You already know that. We've told you that about 600 billion times. You should be doing something to use backups.
So even the laziest person who wants no maintenance at all, you should back up at least have a backup drive. So then you don't have to pay thousands of dollars in recovery costs that may not be possible.
Right.
Because it's only going to take that one time when something you've been working on is important to you, whether it's photos or anything else, and that system, your computer dies, and there it goes. And Steve and I both heard it over the years. Well, I meant to back it up. Well, we meant to get it back for you too, but we can't.
Right.
You didn't evidently it wasn't that important to you.
Not important enough to make a backup.
That you could take the time to back it up. And like I say, especially now with Google, there is no excuse because it automatically puts it up there and it's there for you. And like I've said for, a long time now, it doesn't matter where you are. You could be visiting relatives out in California. log in on their computer. You go into Google and log into your Google account, and there's any document, say you wanted to show them a bunch of the photos, but they were back at home. No, if they're on Google, you can go over there, select a bunch of them, and show them.
Same thing with PCloud.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, look, you don't want to back up your documents, that's your business. But you only have one copy of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
And if that picture is somebody who's passed and you want to keep that memory, you better keep that memory.
Well, that's where I've been able to, because I've got one web page going on right now. Matter of fact, I messed it up somehow or another. It thinks it's a business. I was trying to create a web page just for our family because my dad's one of 19. And we've got quite an extensive family tree out there. So I created a page, and I've been posting other photos. Matter of fact, I found an old photo of my grandmother when she retired. And, that was a lost article. Nobody had it, but I still happen to have it. So I threw it up there. Because, again, it was saved over along with the family photo. There was one photo where my dad and out of the 19 kids, I believe 17 were there for this. We used to get together for Thanksgiving. It was always a big thing. And on the main page is that one photo that exists still of all my aunts and uncles and my grandmother and grandfather. And, unfortunately, most of them have passed. There's only
but you've got that memory.
Yeah.
And the thing I like about PCloud is that it's automated. Because we're all human and we don't back up often enough. Something like PCloud, whether you use PCloud or something else, whether you get it through my link or somewhere else is irrelevant to this discussion. The fact is that having something that automates backup.
Yeah.
So every time you put say a document in the documents folder, a picture in the pictures folder, every time you take a picture on your phone, whatever you do, it gets automatically backed up. In fact, I have my photos backed up on Google Drive, on Amazon, what do you call it? Amazon
Prime storage.
The Amazon Prime storage. I guess it's not
it's Prime everything.
Not a cool name, right? It's Amazon Prime storage, and on PCloud. There would have to be if there was a big enough disaster that all three of those systems went down. Honestly, I wouldn't be thinking about, gee, do I have that picture? So I have all three of those. They are all automated, so I don't have to do thing one to back up any of those. And that means the backups are working.
Well, just last night, my wife got for her son, bought her a new Pixel phone because her other phone was like ancient. It was starting to do like my Pixel did and started to lose, not holding the charge and everything else and acting up. So we had, a while ago, I had convinced her to put everything, create a Google account, even though she was a Yahoo user. I said, no, seriously, put it, create Google and we'll, set everything up. So now when it came to hooking up, I hooked up to her old phone with her new one, did the transfer. She was, well, what about all my contacts and everything? I said, just wait. And it took a little while, but we moved everything. It moved all her apps. And because of Google, there came all her contacts on her phone, all her photos, which a long time ago I set that automatically goes up to Google Photos. There you are. Wait a minute. They're there. Yeah. Even her background was there.
Right.
So to her, all it is now this lighter phone that works great and holds a charge.
And does everything her old phone
did. But,
and better and faster.
Yeah, and all I had to do was hook up one cable to the other and say, transfer it. And because we signed it into the Google account, it says, all right, it moved everything. It took a little bit. But
the same thing when I bought this Chromebook. I opened it up. I logged in with my Google username and password. And no, don't do whatever it is you think you're doing.
You said the keyword.
I said the keyword. And about 3 minutes later, I had all my apps, all my bookmarks, all my everything installed exactly the way it was before. all the icons across the bottom were in the right order, everything. Because I had backed it all up, I had told the system, make sure that whatever I do on any one of my machines is backed up and mirrored on all my other machines. So all my machines work the same way. I have all the same passwords, all the same bookmarks, all the same icons, everything on every Chromebook, on everything. So it's real. It makes it real convenient. You know, back the days when you had to know where your bookmark file was and move it to the new machine and get it in the right place and yada yada yada.
All the emails and
those days are gone. You know, if you're using a web-based email program, you can save all your mail in the cloud, and then you don't have to worry about what machine it's on because it's on all your machines.
Got to make sure what your cloud quota is. We had a customer come in from a ISP in another part of the country. He only had 10 gigs of mail storage.
He only had 10 gigs of mail storage.
And he was getting mail over quota messages. So, and like most people, he thought that meant his computer hard drive was full.
Yeah.
But no, your mail storage is full because too many people sent you photos.
Oh yeah, and if you don't, you need to download the photos to somewhere that will back them up to a different place, and then you need to delete the ones that are there because you do only get 10 gig. And if you get, we had that at RIT.
And that's going to be a problem with Google now because Google Photos used to not count. Now all those photos you get in your email, they're going to count.
They're going to count. We used to also have that problem with our faculty. They would send whole books around, and the books would include pictures and, you know, as they're writing a book, they collaborate with people and they send it to the editor. And so they'd have 15 or 20 copies of that same book file. Yes. And they've written a dozen books and they never delete any of the old copies. Well, guess what? That takes up a lot of storage.
Back when storage was giant platters of disks that took a forklift to bring in and out.
And RIT limited the amount of storage people could have. When I was running my own storage, I did not limit their storage.
Yeah.
I never told them that, but I didn't do it.
We used to run into that all the time in companies where they had like a 5 or 10 meg email limit because that's a whole lot of email messages.
That's a lot of mail.
Except for the graphics department where that was one photo. And we were constantly fighting with IT people saying the graphics department needs a much higher quota. Well, I can give them 20 megs. This one picture is 20 megs, and there's 50 of them on that brochure they're making.
No, I get it. That's you got to be. But yes, PCloud is available on Android TV on M1 machines. It's available on Android. It's available everywhere apparently. And it is available through the browser. So if you did want to drag and drop files, you could do that as well.
That kind of shows you how committed the company is by making clients for that many platforms. They're in it for the long haul.
Yeah, they're not kidding.
And
they're not kidding
probably any new platform that pops up.
Right. So, they've already got one for M1.
Yep.
How long did that take them?
Yeah.
So, that's one of the things I like about them.
They were. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about the first M1-based, Mac malware, and everyone was shocked how soon it came out. And one of the panelists was saying, Apple spent a good hour at the keynote last year telling developers how easy it is to port your code to the M1. You shouldn't be surprised.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. But as we said a couple of times today, almost every operating system can get a virus, almost. And you need to be aware. You need to be careful. If you're not dancing the security tango, you should be. If you're not careful and discerning, you're going to end up with a virus. That's just the way the world works, and you got to live with that.
And maybe think about expanding your definition of malicious software.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a self-replicating virus in the traditional sense.
Yeah,
it can be a fake message on a fake ad.
Well, that's the thing. And you were mentioning it before, Steve. Viruses aren't as prevalent. They're still out there, but the writers aren't writing viruses as much as they are malware and spyware
and ransomware that targets governments and companies.
Right.
Because now there's a new industry in ransomware insurance.
Right.
That for a few $100,000, you pay your insurance policy, and they pay the $1 million ransom.
Right.
Right. But the thing that is, though, folks, is, granted, the spyware, it won't take your machine down, but it's in there searching out and stealing personal information.
Right.
Now, the thing that is like, say your email list. They can, these script kiddies can write a program that'll go into different machines, and it steals all the email addresses. They turn around and gather those millions upon millions.
Billions now. There was a new 3 billion email address and password link that came out the other day.
And they're grabbing those, and what they do is they gather them, and then they sell them to malicious companies. Tell you what, I can sell you 2 billion email addresses, and you pay me. Now, the script that they wrote that just goes out there and mines all these email addresses for them is now turning a profit. Whereas before, viruses, all they do is, lock somebody's machine up. Whoopie-doo.
Well, and
they
that's
didn't
why-
make money off of that.
Right.
Now they're making money off of harvesting information from your computer.
And that's why we tell people, if you get an unsolicited email, do not answer it, even if it's got an unsubscribe. Do not answer it, because what that means is you're somebody who actually reads emails and clicks on the links in them. Your address is now worth much more than the person who never does that.
Well, it's just like you said, too. How a lot of these folks on Facebook, they'll go there and ask, what's your pixie name, or all these other favorite things. Hello. Quite often, they're clues that you use for passwords.
Your password to recovery.
That's right.
And they use it against you.
I think I told a story before about two women that were chatting, and the one son comes in. Hey, Mom, I'm doing a family tree project for school, and what's your mother's maiden name?
Yeah.
And then runs in the other room, comes back a few minutes later. Hey, Mom, what street did you grow up on? And Mom is all excited.
What was your first dog?
Yeah, Mom's all excited about his son taking an interest in school, and her friends, he's getting your security answers, don't you?
Yeah, exactly right. Mm-hmm. So you got to be careful of those things. Generally speaking, you don't really need to know your elf name. I mean, I'll give you an elf name. You want an elf name? I'll give it to you. Call me. Pay me $20.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than losing your identity to somebody. $20 for an elf name. Mm-hmm. There's an idea. There's a business model.
Yeah, but like I say, these script kiddies haven't gotten dumb and not doing viruses. They've gotten a lot smarter in creating stuff that they can steal information and then make money off of it. Because before, the viruses didn't yield them squat.
You're too late. YourElfName.com already exists.
Son of a pup! Son of a pup! How much does their elf name cost?
Looks like it's free.
Yeah.
So who knows what they're doing behind the code?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hysterical.
That's funny.
Cheese and crackers. I hate that.
Yeah, but it was a good idea. Well, it lasted all of 10 seconds.
Oh, Justin. I put in a fake name, and it says my elf name is Dazzler's Sugar Gems.
I see that one. I did John Smith and came back with Tiny Treacle Magic.
Oh, very good.
There's a recently named button at the top.
Yeah.
Smiggles Chatterfingers.
There you go. Dazzler Sugar Gems, Sniggles Chatterfingers.
Did you hear about the company that was trying to change malware virus names? Because no one can remember CVE numbers, so they created a Twitter account that randomly generated 2-word names.
Nice.
Because things like all the names that were so popular. Because that's the first rule of naming your malware is coming up with a good name. So, but they used such a stupid dictionary that no one uses them for their virus names, but they liked it because it was stupid names.
It was a clever idea, at least.
Yeah.
I actually wrote a page once that generated 1,000 fake email addresses.
Really?
Yeah, just to see if anybody would hit it. It's been hit hundreds of thousands of times.
Well, one of the things that the bad guys did in the early days is, A at mail.com, B at mail.com,
Right.
C at mail.com. And a computer can make 1 million email addresses instantly.
Yeah.
And with no more work on your part than feeding a code into it.
Matter of fact, they could do that within minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, in today's machines, it'd be actually billions.
Yeah. Yeah. So every time, you hit enter, you get a different set of fake email addresses.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some real ones in there, but it's unlikely.
And they almost don't need to bother with that anymore with so many billions of leaked email accounts.
That's right. That's exactly right. Oh, well. Be careful. Be careful of what you click on, what you allow to have happen, all of that stuff. All right, that music tells us that you have wasted 2 hours of your life with this nonsense. It also tells me that we are done for another week. It tells Dave he can go home and take a nap. It tells Steve he can go fly something. Not a kite. Rockets this weekend, okay.
Head up to the airport to see the rocket show.
There you go, there you go. And we're done for another week. Remember our fallen veterans this weekend. This is their weekend, those who gave that last full measure of devotion. But we are done for another week, and we would like to thank you all. Have a very safe and blessed Memorial Day weekend. We will be back next week with a whole lot more of the longest-running computer show in the known universe, Soundbites, member-supported Jazz 90.1. See you in 166 hours.
This program is presented by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Obesity is a major public health problem in the U.S. Nearly 1 in 5 young people between the ages of 2 and 19 has obesity. Unfortunately, children with obesity are likely to become adults who struggle with their weight. Obesity in adults is associated with heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Children with obesity are more likely to suffer from depression and low self-esteem. Develop